Good day to you, my fellow gamers.
Celebrity here.
Today we are going to cover the game that represents a daily routine of a driver in remote places of United States and Russia. Created by Saber Interactive, it is, in fact, not the first game in the series. There is also a tech demo called Spin Tires, which is the property of a completely different company, but let's not get into that. The game itself is pretty simple. You just start your regular work shift as an underpaid immigrant from one of these countries, who is only qualified to drive a truck and nothing else. And since he is not trustable enough because of his shady past in 90s Balkans, he is only allowed to drive some old trashed cars for food. That is, only until he, through hard work and sleepless nights, gains enough social reputation points, which are misleadingly called experience points. Your song boon decides which cars you can buy and drive. After all, abide mach frei, rules are the same everywhere. It sounds harsh, but it's actually not that bad. You're not just gaining yourself a status and make money. You're doing an actual work valuable for society. Most of the time you're going to deliver cargo loads filled with variety of things from point A to point B. Be it metal rails with wooden planks you're delivering from local warehouse to factory, or concrete blocks for a quarry. It doesn't really matter since you're getting your experience points and sweet cash. And it's not just repeatable favors. There are small storylines behind every of them. You're actually helping community by delivering resources to repair roads and build some bridges, turning your friendly neighborhood from a complete shithole to a mildly shitty place to die when you become too old to take interest in anything but fishing and smelling magnificent aromas from a local farm or a factory. But only if the wind is right. If some shady guy asks you for a favor, just do what you know best. And if at some point it will seem to you that you hear muffled voices or knocking coming from a cargo container that you agreed to deliver into the woods, you better not ask any questions and just do your fucking job. After all, just the wind or maybe rats. Use your horn to mute displeasing imaginary sounds. Whatever will keep you sleeping at night. And if somebody asks, you weren't even there. And what's the catch, you ask me? Well, since it's a shithole, be it a flooded Michigan, covered with snow Alaska, or just Russia, you have to force yourself through tons of mud and snow, which is actually the same mud but in white color and much deeper. Trust me, it's basic physics. It's not my fault you were skipping classes in middle school. In fact, the mud here is so intense they decided to make the whole game around it. While exploring and completing your quests, you're forced to cross over all type of dens and all sorts of crap. Sometimes you have to cross swamps and rivers, which is even more satisfying experience. It is, however, not that easy, and if you don't have any objects nearby to hook on, you're basically fucked. But the higher risk, the higher reward. So sometimes you have to make sacrifices in order to get to your destination with minimal losses. And sometimes even that is not enough. The good news is there is always a way. What really matters is that in the end you achieve what you intended, even if it's not how you planned it in the beginning of your journey. Why is it so fun, you ask? It's not about the reward itself. It's all about the process when you manage to overcome new obstacles one way or another. It's oddly satisfying. Just like in these games where Germans are walking while they're racing from the actual walk in real life. These people are unstoppable, and mark my word, they are not done with us yet. The moment you're stuck, and trust me, you will be stuck, you have two options. Take your other car and try to pull out the one that's stuck, or press this little button and you will be evacuated into your garage by a mysterious man. You can use it all the time without any limits, and you're only losing what you had in cargo, if you had anything at all. It doesn't cost anything. Well, let's say you're not paying with money. You may decline to use this sort of fast travel. But it's just like not using it in this brand new game called Skyrim 5, highly recommended by the way. During your little adventure you can stumble upon all type of different things like towers, part kits for cars and cars themselves. Act like you own it and everybody will believe that you actually own it. That's how anarcho-capitalism works, my friend. All the cars are divided into three main groups: Scouts, off-road capable trucks and highway trucks. Scouts are good for exploring thanks to their weight and size. Off-road trucks, they're good for delivering things and some other activities, and highway trucks are good for being abandoned forever because they are fucking trash. The more money and experience you get, the more things you can get, and you can always buy, sell and also modify your cars in the garage. You won't be able to get in most places on unmodified car. Also, I'll try to avoid garage as much as I can.
Greasy cocks and lubed up buttholes. That's what my garage is all about. Every inch of this place sees action. From the toilets to the grease-covered floor.
Visuals are pretty impressive, and with physics like that you don't really need much of it. When it comes to music, there are few soundtracks distinguished by the locations you're in. You can describe it as the heartbeat of an oversized American in his mobility scooter who's heading to his local McDonald's. The more intense mud around his wheels, the louder his heart beats with fear that he won't be able to make it in time for a breakfast menu. And it sounds damn good, just try and listen. Sometimes the known road is not the best option, and it's a good thinking to find a better way around. But beware, there are things in the night that you don't want to meet or even know about. By the way, you definitely don't want to complete first 2 missions in Taimyr region for Taiga oil. Then go straightly at this location and find a masterpiece of Soviet engineering. Are roads overestimated? Does humanity really need bridges? Shouldn't it just increase oil production for these beasts and happily die out of pollutions as a proud race? You already know the answer. You can't kill it. You can't negotiate with it. You can and you will run out of fuel. Just buy a rack with additional fuel and you'll be fine. Swamps can't stop you. Woods can't stop you. You became a new form of life without any flaws of former yourself. Overall, is it fun to play? Yes, and you probably won't find anything like it. Will you be interested enough to complete the whole game though? Probably not. Besides, there is no endgame. You have nothing to do but simple tasks. There is also no need for real sweat, and suddenly it turns out to be one of the pros. You could turn your brain off and just keep delivering stuff like a madness bee in the hive that you are. And guess what? It's nice to be a stupid bee. With the mad physics like that, you don't need anything else anyway. There is also a co-op, but I don't have any friends, so shut up. Great game. 15 post-Soviet states out of 10. Stay tuned for more content to come. If you liked this video or didn't, do what you see fit. Maybe even consider subscribing. I don't really care. See ya.